ladies and gentlemen, I figured I would take some time to go over the practice set question number 14. Now, I didn't assign you number 14, however, I did assign you number 13, which is very close in scope to number 14. So, I'm taking the liberty of writing this out in a smartboard piece, and we're going to go over it together, all right? It says, use the graph of the function f, shown here to the side, to sketch each graph. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to sketch this function right here. All right, before I do, I am going to ungroup so that I can get rid of my coordinates, which you see written before you, but I'm going to get rid of right now because they're getting in my way. And now I am going to group the whole thing again. That way we can begin. All right, so letter A says I want to know what f of x minus 1 would be. Well, I know if I subtract 1 for every value of x, that moves my graph down 1. So, I'm going to walk over, so it's not going to sound as good. So, when I do that, this point right here moves down 1 to this point. This point right here moves down 1 to this point. This point here moves down 1 to this point. This point moves down 1 to this point. And the graph of part A becomes that. That is letter A. I did it in red. Let's do letter B in green, shall we? Now it takes F, and because of the plus 1, it moves up 1 unit to the left. So it takes this one and moves it here. This one gets moved here. This one gets moved here. And this one gets moved here. And so I am left with boom, boom, boom. And that's letter B. Letter C is f of x, or f of the quantity x minus 1. And because of this minus sign, I know I'm moving to the right 1 unit. So I take this piece right here, and that goes here. This part goes here. This part, excuse me, this part goes there. And lastly, this part goes here. And then that becomes this, this, and this. And you should see very simply that I just moved that black line over 1 unit to the right. Okay? Now I'm going to change to a different color. Let's do orange. And it's going to be negative f of the quantity x minus 2. So first thing I do is I move this 2 units to the right from my black line. And that's what this part does. After I move it 2 to the right, I reflect it about the x-axis. And that's what that part tells me. So I take this point, I move it 2 units to the right, and then I reflect it about the x-axis. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 up. I go 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and it's right there. This point moves 2 units to the right, 1, 2, and then it's 3 up. I go 3 down, and it becomes right there. Okay? Next point, this point right here. 2 to the right, 1, 2, and because it's sitting on the x-axis, it doesn't do anything, right? And then lastly, this point right here goes 1, 2 to the right, and because it's at negative 1, it goes down to positive 1. And these are the points that are moving together. Right there, and right there. And that is letter D. Letter E, let's do in a kind of mustard yellow. Looks like baby poop or something. Okay, so when this one here, think about this. So this point right here, I'm going to take the opposite of x and apply f to it. That's going to flip this around to that point right there. This point is at 0. It's going to stay at 0. This point here is at positive 1. I'm going to move that to negative 1. And then this point is at 3. I'm going to move that to negative 3. And I get this. That is letter E. Letter F is 1/2 x squared. Let's do that in a turquoise blue, kind of a dirty turquoise blue. We're going to do that in that color. Okay, so now I am going to take f of x. I'm going to take half of it. So here it's 4. I'm going to go down to 2 right there. This one's at 3. I go to 1/2. That's right there. This one is at 0. It stays at 0. This one's at 1. I actually go to 1/2. It just shrinks that dude like so. I don't like them lines. I'm going to fix that. And that. That is letter F. And then G is kind of the toughest of them all, I think. Let's do this one. We'll do this one in, what color should we do this in? We'll do this in purple. We'll do it in purple. So we're going to do that in purple. Now, in order to do this, I like to set up a graph. So, with x and 1 and 2x, and f of 2x. Okay, so here's what I like to do. When x is 0, actually no, I don't want to go to 0. I want to go to my lowest value of x is negative 2. And when I do x is negative 2, f of that, or 2x rather, is negative 4. Well, does my function f, I'm going to trace it in purple here, but I'm going to erase it, does f do anything to x equals negative 4? In other words, is negative 4 in my domain? It is not in my domain. So I have to ignore that, right? I have to ignore that. So there is no value for when x equals 2 or 2x equals 4. So let's do this. Let's do negative 1. Why am I choosing negative 1? When x is negative 1, 2x is negative 2. And look at what f of negative 2 is. F of negative 2 is 4. So here is f of negative 2, which is 4. Now, what is my ordered pair here? It is negative 1, comma 4. So that's the point I graphed. Negative 1 is right here, up 4 right here. So I graphed that point right there. My next one, I'm going to erase this now. So that's where I'm going to write my ordered pairs. My next one, I'm going to do 0. When x is 0, 2x is also 0, and f of 2x, well, when the number inside the parentheses is 0, my value is 3. So my next ordered pair is going to be 0, comma 3, which just happens to be the same thing as it was for f. So there's my first line segment is going to be right here, but I'm not going to connect the dots until everything, all my dots are put in. But I'm going to erase this, and I am going to do my next point, and I'm going to do 1/2. Why? Because I know that I got a value for f when x equals 1. So when x equals 1/2, 2x equals 1. And I know f of 1 is 0. So the next ordered pair is 1/2, comma, 0. And so now I got, get rid of that. I want to get rid of, oh shoot, never mind. I'm going to leave that there. I'll leave that there. I want to take this spot and move it right here. So there's my next point, right there. And then lastly, I want to analyze that point right there. So when f, or when x equals 4, but I want to look at, when x equals 2. Why? Because when I multiply 2 times 2, I get, there I go again. When I multiply 2 by 2, I get 4. And I know f of 4 is -1. So my last order pair is 2, comma, -1. And then I got 2, -1 right there. And my line becomes this. From there to there, to there, to there. And there you have all the functions. This letter G is the hardest one. On your problem set, you get y equals f of 1/2 x. So look at what f of 2 of x did on this graph. It looked like it made it skinnier it looked like it made it skinnier in some ways. Okay? So what do you think this function is going to do? Show me on your homework. Thank you for your time.